Guys, I'm here with Jacob. He is the VP of Trophy Exteriors over the entire company. He's started with us a little over a year ago and moved up very, very quickly. He came from a management position at his previous job and had many, many years of sales experience, more sales experience than I've had actually, and came in and excelled very quickly. Took a leadership role. It was one of those situations where you're sitting at a table with everybody in the company and you ask the question to everybody in the room. You say, who would be the next person in charge? Who would be the next manager? And everybody in the room would have just looked up, raised their hand, and pointed at Jacob. It was a very obvious decision. And with how things have gone over the course of, Siri's going, over the way things have gone over the last year, we made the right decision by moving him into that position. So Jacob, you were not always the leader that you are now. I say our managers and people within the company look up to you extremely. And I think you've had a point in your life where not anyone would really look up to you and you weren't ready to be a leader. So kind of where were you then? What got you into this industry? And I'll just say it outright. You were making six figures or multi-six figures, over $200,000 a year at your previous position and came to do this. Now, you do have an interesting perspective that not everybody also has that I'd love to talk about, and that is commission-only sales and no base, and commission being the only way you earn income is the only way you know.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously that period of time where I wasn't really someone to look up to was mainly, from about 16 years old up to about 18, okay. And, And did
Ashley know you then?
No, no. But I always knew that I wanted to do something to where I could have no ceiling, right? I wanted to do something to where I could make as much money as I wanted to make, and that was why I never chased a salary. I never looked for something that was just going to be safe. Yeah. Because I didn't want that ceiling. I wanted to be able to go as high as I wanted to go. But yeah, come probably about 10th grade, 16 years old, started to kind of fall off, ran as quickly as I could to rock bottom, and really, for some reason, liked to stay down there for a good while, and wanted to see if I could go even deeper at one point. Couldn't really find the bottom of that thing, and it was like it just never ended. From being arrested multiple times to attempting to sell drugs and being very poor at it because I would do all of them. A drug addict, having to, go to rehab at one point. Really just...
How old were you when that happened?
I was 16 when that happened.
It's just young. It's so young.
Yeah. My older brother... So my parents worked a whole lot when I was young. They both worked for a Brookshire Grocery Company, did everything they could to set us up for success. They were good parents. They didn't make a ton of money, but we had everything that we needed. They would, they were extremely supportive, showing up to my football games and every school event that we had, anything that you could ask of a parent, right? Mm-hmm. And because they worked a lot, I was very close with my older brother. Me and him, I always, what it's like. Well, no, you don't, but Sam does. To be the younger brother, you want to go hang out with the older kids. They're doing the cool stuff. Yeah. They're funny or whatever. Yeah. And so I always wanted to hang out with him, and a lot of the times he would take me with him wherever they would go. And so come, about 11, 12 years old, he moves off to college or moves with my sister-in-law for her to go to school. Yeah. And at that point in time, I'm trying to figure out, okay, well, what kind of crowd do I want to hang out with, right? Because I was used to hanging out with these older kids, never really had to make a decision on that to pick my friends. Mm-hmm. And so as I got into football, I started to kind of pick the crowd that I wanted to surround myself with. And honestly, I had a good group of kids that I was hanging out with for a long time. I'll say one of my best friends, Jacob Gonzalez, and me and him are still, friends till this day. He was always a good influence on me. I think he's a year older than me. Him and a couple of other kids that I hung out with were really well-rounded, trying to do the right thing, staying out of trouble.
But you didn't want that.
For some reason, no, I didn't. I wanted, like I said, I wanted to go see what it was like down there at the bottom. And so started hanging out with some people that, helped me make some really poor decisions. And through that, went through all of those things.
Helped you make poor decisions. I like the phrasing.
They did. Yeah, they encouraged him, in fact.
They really did a good job at helping you with that.
They were excellent at it. It was almost like, let's figure out what we can do worse. Almost didn't even get to graduate my 10th grade year because of the amount of school that I skipped. And then going into 11th grade, about halfway through, I quit school, decided I was going to figure it out and make it on my own.
I think that's crazy. I want to know like a statistic, and we can look that up afterwards, but a statistic of how many people do not finish high school and end up making over $200,000 in their mid to early 20s, because that was you. So from the beginning, even as a shithead, even as someone who completely was not on the right path at all, you still had hustle. Like you still wanted to work and you still wanted to make money. You still wanted to be above average in your income and the way you can live. So I think that's kind of the foundation of everything that's happened. It's like that's been in there the whole time.
Anything that I wanted to do, I would figure out a way to do it.
Yeah.
It was not a matter of if, it was, okay, how? Like, if I want to do this, I know I can, but how do I just have to figure out how.
Dude, that stat's got to be so low.
I would be willing to bet
crazy.
Money it's very low. If you quit school.
I want to look that up.
And I look back, honestly, if it wasn't for my older brother getting me into the auto industry, I don't know where I would be right now.
Hey, can we look that up? Can you hear me? Gracie, that stat of people who do not finish high school but end up making multi-six figures in their mid-20s. I want to just know that statistic. Bring it back to me and interrupt when you guys get that. That's a very unique statistic, I think. It'll be interesting. But anyway.
Yeah, so, because of the path that I chose, I was very limited. I believed that I was very limited to the amount of money that I could make and the opportunity that I had. Looking at all the guys that were successful in high school, they typically didn't make any of the poor decisions I didn't hang around with those type of people. They weren't going to jail, things like that. They were going off to college. Mm-hmm. And since I wasn't doing that, I had a strong belief that I was not going to be successful and that I was going to be very limited to the amount of money that I could make. But I finally start to get my shit together a little bit, about 18 years old, get a job working for a hotel at the time. And
nice.
Yeah, I had a job.
You had a job.
I had a job, and that was the main thing that...
And this is up in North Texas.
Yeah, that's in Waxahachie.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was in Waxahachie. And I can say one thing that I did get from my parents and my older brother that they always, made sure that I understood is that you may not be more talented than other people, but you can work harder.
Yeah.
And that will get you far.
It will.
And so... as I started to work for that hotel, you can only work so hard for some of these jobs, right? You can only do so much. You can, what are you going to do? Work more hours than the other person? You're at this, at some point you're just doing the same job they are,
right?
Just maybe more of it. And so I'm just sitting here. It's kind of dead end at this point. I was a night audit, so I became very reclusive at that point. I didn't really like interacting with people at all.
You're sleeping during the day.
Yeah.
Working all night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And looking at me now, I'm like, man, it's crazy. I don't know how I got to this point. I did not discriminate. I didn't like anybody. So I didn't want to talk to any of them.
You talk to everybody now.
Yeah, making friends that we didn't even know were friends.
I know.
Let's go back to Port Aransas. Fantastic out there. And so my brother starts working in the car business at one of the stores here in College Station. Or.
You have a stat for me? Yeah.
Less than 1%.
And then imagine if that statistic was in their early 20s.
Less than 1%.
Less than 1%.
I didn't even know that.
That right there is the foundation of your entire story, though.
Less than 1%
no matter
of
how much
people.
of a shithead you were, which you totally were.
100%.
But that was still there in you. That was still how you thought and how you acted. That just lets you know, all right, he'll be fine. It may take him some time, but he'll be fine. That stat may be hard to find.
0.1%. 0.1%.
Feel special?
I feel, well, I
Have you ever
knew
thought about that, though?
No, I never did.
Crazy.
I always just thought to myself, I was going, once I got to that point that I made that first $100,000, I was like, okay, I can do this shit. There's not anything I can't do. Anything that these other people are doing, I can do.
Yeah. Well, when was that first $100,000? Because I'll tell you right now, it sure as fuck wasn't at the hotel.
It was not at the hotel.
Okay.
At the hotel, I was making, I think, $600 every 2 weeks. Maybe less than that. I don't remember. It sucked. The pay sucked. I was very limited, but I had a job, and my brother told me, he said, for that, how I got there, he was like, man, I want you to move to College Station. I didn't have any money.
And he was there because of his wife at the time.
My sister-in-law, Shelby, was going to medical school.
So
Texas
that's how
A&M.
you went from Waxahachie down to College Station, Texas.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I moved there in 2016 to start selling cars. My brother was like, hey, I'm ready for you to start making good money. You can make like $10,000 a month as a car salesman.
Yeah.
I was like, well, there's my ticket right there. If I want to be a millionaire, that's a step closer to it.
It is.
Man, I remember I had this Honda Accord. It was a 96, and I just couldn't wait to have a car that I know I could get into and it would start and it wouldn't have any service lights or anything like that. Like, just to have a car that would be...
Just didn't have problems.
Yeah, just to start and, like, maybe even have, like, Bluetooth or something.
It's those little things that we neglect now.
Oh, man, I've forgotten about that. And sometimes I have to go back and be like, remember, you got it pretty good now. But so I moved to College Station. I had to sell that car because something went wrong with it. I don't remember. But I didn't even have a car. And my brother said, hey, you can come stay with me until you get on your feet and get selling, but you need to save a good chunk of change before you move out here. You need to have a cushion.
Your brother sounds just like a steady, consistently good influence on your life.
He has always been more mature than everyone his age. He's always been very much someone that you would follow, like lot of leadership qualities.
And he's only a little bit older than you?
He's 5 years older than me.
Oh, he's a good bit older. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 5 years older.
And he is the complete opposite of me. He's tall, dark, handsome, loves to go, hunting, fishing, all that stuff, which the older I've gotten, I enjoy those things because I never realized that I don't have to deal with people if I
You're
go do
not
that. Just the
dark and
people
handsome,
I want to.
I tell you that much.
Not tall, dark, and handsome. At one point was skinny, scared, and lonely with no nice beard. It was tough, let me tell you.
Beard going for you.
I did get the
beard.
beard.
That is good.
That at some point people started to realize I was not a 16-year-old boy. I looked 16 until I was like 26. It was tough, especially trying to get people to pull the trigger on $100,000 vehicles. But
I
yeah,
think we can put in a picture over at the podcast here.
Oh yeah,
we've got some good pictures. We're gonna pause there and put in a picture of Jacob just so everybody watching can see. Those of you that are listening on the podcast app, you ought to check this out on YouTube. Those photos are great. Would you have bought a car from this guy? That's what I want people to look at that picture and think.
No, they wouldn't have. No, they shouldn't have, because he didn't have. I was literally faking it until I could make it.
You shouldn't have.
No, I wouldn't have bought a car. I mean, he's a nice kid, but he didn't know what he was doing.
He rode to work with his brother.
I didn't tell them that.
He's selling cars, but doesn't even have a fucking
Doesn't
car.
even own one. And that was the thing that I realized when I started is these people will hire anybody. Like, I got buddies that are felons. They would love to come make this kind of money. So I started to get people. I started to try to get my buddies to come sell cars. And I come to find, and I don't know how I didn't realize it sooner rather than later, but it is actually not one of the easiest jobs. It's hard. And it's not hard because of the task at hand. It's hard because of the amount of hours that you have to put in to be able to be successful. So people buy cars when they're off. They buy them on the evenings, on the weekends, around holidays.
Yeah.
They don't just come in and buy them at noon to where you can go home at 5 o'clock. And so that first dealership that I worked at, I would show up we had to be there at like 8 or 8:30, and then we didn't close until 8. And of course, everybody comes in after 6 o'clock most of the time. So you're there until the last customer leaves if you're a manager, and if you're a salesperson, you're just hoping to be able to help one of those customers, and so you stay. And my first year was March to December. I only made like $45,000. The next year I made like 60, and every year after that I was clearing 90 and 100. It eventually became consistent with that.
So you were probably, if I had to guess, 22, 23 when you made your first six-figure year, or had your first six-figure year.
I think I was 22.
22.
I was 22.
So that's pretty good. I don't know a lot of 22-year-olds that go out and make six figures, so that's good.
And so I originally was at an import store, and I moved to a domestic store. Was fantastic. I got more consistent, got better at selling. And
22, 23 at this time?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I was seeing, in the beginning, I saw all these managers, and they all had nice cars. They had nice clothes, custom suits, nice houses.
Custom suits?
Pretty wives. Yeah, with like their initials on them and shit. I'm like, man, I want that. Like,
wow.
That's the life I want right there. I can do this. Some of these guys weren't, my brother was 5 years older than me, and he was a finance manager when I started. And so I'm sitting here thinking, okay, well, I'm almost 5 years in. Like, I should be able to. There's no reason if those guys are doing it that I can't do it.
That's that. Oh, that mentality. I love it.
Just no reason why.
I wish everybody had that. Like, okay, if that person's doing it, that person's doing it, and that person's doing it, why the fuck can't I? I feel like that's something a lot of people miss out. I'm just hung up on the custom suits. Like, that is something.
Yeah, this lady would come to the dealership and measure you up and like size you up, and a week later would come back with these suits, and I think they were like $1,000 a piece, and bring them to the dealership. And so like all the managers that are doing it are like, oh yeah, like, you know, dude, got my custom suit.
What the fuck? I'm
just like, everybody's gonna think you're so cool. I don't think a customer ever noticed.
Are any of these guys making like $1 million a year?
300, 400, some. I would say 200 to 300 on average.
Spending $1,000 on a custom suit,
which I would say really moves the needle if you're only making $200,000 a year. I would say that's just.
I don't know. I'm sorry. To each his own. I buy some dumb shit, I guess, but that one's kind of blowing my mind. That's a little ghetto to me. I don't know.
Keeping up with the Joneses, and that's something else like that I can say is like working in the car business is like they're all like, oh dude, you drive a shitty car, you need to get a nicer car, it'll make you work harder, it'll make you you know, sell more cars and try harder, which I can see that aspect of it. But if you have a young kid who, especially if they have a family, if they have kids or anything like that, and you're sitting there trying to pressure them into a $1,200 note, it's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, I
can see how that could be good and bad. Like, you think about Emily who works with us, right? I'm not going to pressure her to go buy a new car.
Right.
But you take Tide, for example, who drives around in his little Ford Maverick. Yeah, that dude needs to go buy an F-250.
Right.
Okay?
Go bite off something that gives you a little more to chew on. That way you work a little harder.
And I'm kind of the same way. It's like if I go spend money when I was making $250,000, $350,000 a year, let's say I made $350,000 one year, I'm spending $360,000. But I'll tell you what, I was the guy that was like, okay, I'll spend $360,000, but I'm going to go figure out how to make more. And it motivated me to make more. And that was a stupid thing to do. But I tell you, that's kind of what they're hoping to do, I would imagine.
It is. But again, it's just keeping up with the Joneses, right? Yeah. Like, I live in a nicer house than you. I drive I'll never forget the general manager of the store that I worked at the longest would literally, I mean, at no point in time let you forget that you were not on the same tax bracket that he was not afraid to bring that up. And at any point in time,
why?
I mean, it'd be like you talking to our canvassers and be like, can't eat the same restaurants I do. It's like, okay, save some for the rest of us, right? And it never really bothered me. I was just like, whatever, I guess. Because he's a super intelligent guy. Knew everything that you could probably want to know about the industry.
He's making money. I'm sure he's doing something right.
Making probably somewhere in the neighborhood of $1 million or more a year, I would think. I never knew the exact number, but I knew it was up there. But just the amount of like, hey, I'm going to let you know we are not the same. We do not have the same money problems. But don't be afraid to stay late. I'm taking off. It's 5:00. And so. Also, very thankful for that guy. He is the reason that I'm sitting here with you today, as dirty as I felt like it was at the time. But, so I'm, 22, 23, start getting really consistent, get to the point that I'm finally established enough financially that I can go through each month with my head pretty level. And I do have to say thank you to Matt Sheik, Robert Renfro, David Levine. Those guys, my brother, Zach Wigginton, those guys poured a lot into me when I did not show to be worth it in the beginning, right? My head wasn't on straight. I wasn't making good decisions.
Yeah, you sounded like an idiot.
Yeah, I was just like I said, making really some of the worst decisions possible financially.
Yeah.
Habits, lifestyle, everything. And those guys poured a lot into me to make me into, or to help me become what I am today. And I take responsibility for, or take credit for where I'm at, but at the same time, those people poured a lot into me.
Sounds like your brother did quite a bit.
My brother did a lot.
I think that's super cool.
Yep. Brett Guerin's another guy that poured into me a ton, spent a lot of time with me, had a lot of patience when I didn't catch on maybe as quick as they would have liked me to. And I'm just very thankful for those people. But those were the people that I was striving to be like.
Right.
They had the lives that I wanted. And so come 2020, so I'm now like 4.5 years in, whatever that is.
So you've been doing this a good while. You've made a career out of this.
Yeah.
You've learned to pay your bills. You've learned to be comfortable and make life work on what you're making there. And so if you're at somewhere for 4.5 years, you're probably in hopes of moving to a higher tier position, some career advancement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wasn't rich by any means.
Yeah.
I used to think $100,000 a year made you like boom, you're rich. Like, man, that goes quick.
Yeah.
Go buy a car and get a house or a nice apartment, and that goes by very fast. But
You're
yeah,
10, 15 grand oopsie away from financial stress.
I don't have any more money.
Yeah,
right?
you're done at that point. Yeah, it ain't.
And so,
So anyway,
yeah.
go
So
ahead.
2020 rolls around and COVID hits.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, cars start to dissipate. There's the parking lot is empty. We're used to having more inventory than we can keep up with. You
Yep.
know, it's easy to get lost in it, right? Like,
So for the first time, you're seeing shit shift.
it's starting to shift hard.
Big time, yeah.
Starting to shift hard. And I just sold, it was like close to the end of the month. I want to say in June, May or June. And I just sold a car. The guy goes into finance, and one of the managers calls me and says, hey, follow me. Takes me up to the GM's office, and the GM lets me know, hey, we're going to put you in finance. And so I'm like, fuck yeah, I've made it to the next step. Let's go.
So from sales to finance, and that
Yeah.
title is a finance manager, correct? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm a
Very
finance
nice.
manager, which in the beginning was really only me contracting deals. So signing a customer up, and the goal there is to sell them as much product as possible.
As in warranties and all
Warranty
sorts
gap,
of other
credit
shit.
life, disability, paint interior, all of the extras, if you will,
Yep.
right? To maximize the deal.
Now let me ask you, just from a business standpoint, I would have to assume in the car industry, your margin on the car is probably not as good as most people think. I'd say your margin in that back office where you're with the finance manager is probably where you start to build a gap in a good way.
So it's one of the main ways. So now people are so educated on what you can go buy a car for, like what an invoice is on a new car, what theirs is supposed to sell for, how much they're supposed to get for it if they sell it or trade it into you.
Yeah.
It's hard to make a whole bunch of money there, right? You make 5%, something like that, give or take on new. I would say that margin becomes greater the more expensive the car.
For sure.
But on used, maybe $1,500, $2,000 is going to be your average difference between what you can get that car for at the auction and what it's going to retail for.
Which I feel like that's standard for most sales industries. Is like if you're making anywhere between $1,000 to $3,000 on your sale, and it's under a six-figure sale, like okay, that's what you're going to expect. So I think people think the car industry is so bad and sketchy. It's like, dude, I don't think they're making that much fucking money on
Not
each
on
of
the
these
car.
cars.
It's
like everybody's making money for sure.
Yeah.
There's people at a dealership that are making some great money, and I think that's good. You fucking earned it. You deserve it. But I mean, dude, even when I went and bought that Raptor we just got Gracie, I asked you, I'm like, dude, I want him to make a grip. Like whatever they give on my trade, like withhold a few grand. Like we're doing business here, And I feel like people just don't understand that. It's like you don't go to a restaurant and say, well, how much you pay for those onions and how much are you charging me?
Yeah, like I'm buying the onions because I didn't want to go pick them out of the garden.
Yeah, you
I
think
didn't
they're
wanna
not
go
going to make
them.
fucking money on this?
Yeah, they're not going to do it for free.
Yeah.
And so people don't understand that. They think you're making $10,000 on just the sale price of the car, and it's like, dude, that's not how this works. Like every once in a while, you'll get lucky on something like that. Your specialty stuff, your Raptor, your GT500, stuff like that. But for like a normal F-150, you're not going to make typically $10,000 just on the sale price.
So what if you are?
And so what if you are? If you're worried about, if you're honestly looking at me going, hey, I want to save money, okay, then why are you looking at a $70,000 vehicle?
Go buy a used car.
Go buy a
Yeah.
used, inexpensive vehicle that you can pay cash for. You're financing this thing because it's more than what you can afford already.
Yep.
And you're concerned with me being profitable. Like, come on, dude,
Yeah.
get. And so, one of the other ways that dealerships are profitable is on that back end side.
Yeah.
Which people know, right? They know that if you finance a car with a dealership, you typically get a little bit better of a deal because they can make some more money, things like that. But in the beginning, it's just me contracting people. I don't really quite understand how everything works just yet. Because when you're in sales, they try to keep you. The more information I know, the more I'm gonna give.
You're gonna fuck up at that
to
point.
sell the car.
Yeah.
Right. It's just natural. Like
I feel like we see that in our industry. It's like right when someone starts selling, they go on a hot streak and then they run 15, 20, 30 appointments and they start to gain a lot more knowledge. And it's like, oh, hold on, a little bit of a dry spell's coming because you start getting analysis paralysis. So they wouldn't need to teach you about that finance position if you're in sales.
No.
Focus on the sales.
you know very little, right?
Yeah.
Build the value in the
That's
car,
smart.
get them to like you, and the rest will come together.
Yeah.
And so as about a year goes on, I want to understand how to read credit. I want to understand how to structure deals. I want to understand more and more. And that's where these other people poured a lot of time into me.
Nice.
To help me understand all those things. And as time went on, I realized that my next step, if I wanted to, I wanted to be a general manager. I wanted to have my own store.
So you were ready for the next up.
That's what I wanted.
Yep.
I wouldn't say ready.
Okay. Understood.
Ready is a bold statement.
Okay.
I wouldn't even say I was ready when I went into finance. Now, I would say anybody on the sales floor, if they said, hey, who do you think should go into finance next? Everybody would have looked at me. I can't say that with a ton of confidence.
All right, that's fair.
But as far as being ready to go to the next step, which would be a sales manager or being on the desk, ready, bold statement. I wasn't ready yet, but I can tell you one thing for sure. I realized that if I wanted that next step, I had to go be more uncomfortable. I liked staying back there in my office.
Yeah.
I had to talk to tons of customers that typically were not happy to see me. I'm the guy you go spend money with, right? We didn't go on the test drive together. We didn't hook up your phone together. We didn't go show your wife and get her excited. You're coming back there with me to sign the paperwork and rip the Band-Aid off.
I've never thought of it that way. That's funny.
It's the least fun part about buying the car.
Okay, so you're in finance. You're doing it. Worst part of the job. Now you are looking for the next career advancement path and starting to work towards that.
And so looking back, I remembered that the reason why I was placed in that position in finance wasn't necessarily because I was ready, but it was because it was undeniable that I was the best option to put in that position.
Right.
And so I start thinking to myself, okay, how do I do this again? Right? Just do that same thing, but in this situation.
Yep.
And so I try to shine, right? I want to have the highest penetration. I want to have the when I say penetration, I want to be able to look back in the percentage of deals that I signed. I want to have the most amount of warranties sold, most amount of gap insurance policies, the most amount of protection that I could give to the customer would set me apart from them. And not only that, but doing things like going up to the sales desk when things are slow, when I'm not signing a deal, and saying, hey, what can I do? Who can I serve? How can I help? Yep. Going to take a turn on a customer, going to submit a deal, whatever just made it undeniably obvious that I was the person for that position, because I knew that it was coming. Yeah. The used car director at the time, or used car manager at the time, had left and went back to Houston. And I was a big fan of that guy as well. Chris Bolin was his name. Love that guy. Okay. Fantastic to work with. And so I knew the position was up, and they were going to put somebody there. Yeah. And so I put my best effort into making it obvious that I was the person. And sure enough, as I expected at this point, after spending lots of time showing that, I get that call. Hey, it was actually on a Friday, I believe, and we typically never met with the GM on Friday. And the GSM texted me that morning. I was supposed to come in late. I don't remember what time it was, and he said, hey, me and the GM are waiting on you. Where are you at? And I was like, oh, I didn't know that we were meeting this morning. And I reached out to one of my best friends, one of the other finance guys, and said, hey, are we supposed to be meeting this morning? And he's like, no, not that I know of. He said, I know what's about to happen. I said, what? He said, they're about to put you on the desk. And so I'm already grinning, as I go I'm like, okay, here we go. I'm on this path. I'm going to get this. I'm going to get exactly what I want. Yeah. And was ready to stop at nothing to get it. Well, as I come into this role as used car manager and desk manager, used car manager is probably the hardest job in the dealership. Okay. Arguably between that and finance manager, but everybody else that knows the auto industry knows that used cars is tough because you got a ton of risk on the line for one, and you have to move them quick. Okay. Right? So you got to price them correctly. They got to look right. They got to be clean. They got to be staged correctly. You got to make sure to, there's so many things. It's like the spinning plates with the markets like we do, right? Yeah, yeah. This one starts to fall, you pick it up, and this one starts to fall. And just so much. And
so the dealership's going to lose its ass and really get into trouble. It's not going to be on these new cars. It's going to be probably on a used car or in the used car department.
It takes a lot more. It still takes some attention for new cars. Okay. Used cars is harder.
Got it.
You have to deal with wholesalers. You have to deal with all the vendors, the people that come in and want to touch up the cars, the guys that recondition the cars, the wash bay, the technicians. You have to approve shop bills. And then on top of all this, I still have to help us sell more cars.
Yeah.
And at the time, out of a car that was pushing about 60 used, and I want to say between 100 and 200 new, give or take. There was only 3 desk managers that could help the salespeople sell cars.
Okay.
And only 2 of us, me and one other guy, and me doing all the used car stuff and one other guy, were the only 2 that could desk deals. That could help. The third sales manager had never sold cars before. Super nice guy, but he had never sold cars.
But he was a sales manager
He was the general sales manager.
And he's never sold a car.
He's never sold cars before.
Okay, understood.
Interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
All right. Good guy. Big fan of that guy. He's got a big heart, good leadership qualities. But a lot of pressure there. So time goes on. I got promoted to the desk in the beginning of 24, end of 25 comes, and come October, we actually have this anniversary dinner where we all get together. It had been like 10 years since they had bought the store, and the GM said, hey, I would like to have this nice dinner at a place called Miramont, if you're familiar with it. Very nice country club. Mm-hmm. And says, hey, sends us an email, said, I would like y'all to be part of this dinner because if it wasn't for y'all, we wouldn't quite be here. I couldn't have done this without you. Couldn't have done this without you, and want y'all to be part of this celebration, this anniversary. And so we all get dressed to the nines and go out to this dinner. That's in October. Sorry. And when we get to this dinner, he hands all of our wives an envelope and says, hey, read this whenever you get home. Mm-hmm. And I thought, okay, well, this seems cool. Like, what is this? So we have this dinner. He gives this fantastic speech, comes over and talks to me. Just the owner of the group actually sat at the table with us. It was really cool. It was a cool dinner. And we get home, and my wife opens the letter, and she's reading it. And she's kind of tearing up. And I'm like, why?
Oh, that's cool.
It's fantastic, right? And so she's reading this letter, and she looks up to me, and she goes, they are so grateful for you. I'm so happy you work for a company like this.
Yeah.
And I had many of people throughout the years come to me and say, hey, you should come do this, offering me these other job opportunities.
For sure.
One guy specifically that owned a pest control company, or home security systems company, said, man, come do this. You'll make more money than what you're making now. I was like, no, man, this is the place for me. Mm-hmm. These people care about me. They love me. And the GM told me that many a times. Man, I love you. I care about you.
Yeah.
That letter talked about how thankful they were for all the time that my wife had sacrificed with me, right? The birthdays, the anniversaries, the holidays, the weekends, and just how thankful they were to have me. And inside, I think it was like a $500 gift card, just a really sweet gesture.
Nice. Yeah.
Really sweet gesture. Yeah. This letter had very specific things in it.
Sounds like something you hang on the fridge.
Right? And I still have this letter.
Yeah.
I still have
this.
That's
Cool. That's very cool.
So my brother was a stellar salesperson compared to me, right off the top. And I remember one of the things that he had mentioned in that letter was how thankful he was, even though Zach had left, my brother, how thankful he was, and he felt like he got the better pick out of me. Like, what a good compliment, right?
That's cool.
It doesn't get much better than that, because you know how much I look up to my brother, and so
he knew that would hit home.
It hit home.
That was pretty cool.
It hit
cool.
home.
Yeah,
it was really cool.
I like that.
And so I get this letter, and like I'm on a roll at this point. I'm like, okay, boom, like we're rolling. And then let's see. So December rolls around. I believe it was December.
So a couple months later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We bring in this other guy, and I knew very little about this guy. I didn't know much about him. I knew that he worked for a store that was a direct competitor for us for a decade or so.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember at one point
is this an industry you guys like everybody knows everybody type of industry, or like if you're worth a shit?
Kinda.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Word gets around quick.
Yeah.
And so this guy comes in, and they put him on the desk with us right away, which I thought was odd because he wasn't within the group, and we kind of didn't really do that from everything that I had seen.
Did he maybe have a connection coming into the dealership?
He told me he did, yeah, with the owner,
Okay.
the owner of the group, that he had this strong connection, that the owner basically told him he was going to do whatever it took to have him work with us and this, that, and the other.
Cool.
And so day one of this guy coming in, I'm trying to jive with him, right? He apparently he's got a lot of good knowledge and wisdom as far as used cars go, that I can gain from spending time with him. And so I'm like, I'm going to soak this up. Like, I want to get to know this guy. I want to know if I can be better at this to help me get to the next step, why not use those tools to my advantage?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And so 2 or 3 days goes by, and this guy, he's just I'm hearing him tell other people, he's telling me like, man, I'm just a really good guy. I wake up in the morning, I just read the Bible with my wife, and I'm just, on the path of just being a better person, and I'm a really good person. And I'm just sitting there like, why is this guy telling me that
That's
he's
a red flag if I've ever heard one.
I've never had somebody say that to me.
You don't trust the guy that says, "Hey, I'm a real honest guy."
I've never had somebody approach me this way. It's just never happened to me.
Yeah, that's weird.
And I'm like, whatever. I don't care.
That's an insecurity in that person.
100%.
Yeah,
right?
That's interesting.
Sharing all these intimate things that, like, dude, I don't give a shit about that. Like,
yeah, and you could say, well, I'm just trying to share God's love, but it's like,
and that was always
oh, that was something?
Yeah,
well, that's not
100%.
how the Bible calls us to do it. It's not by bragging about what you do and showing what you do. It's by living in it. Okay, anyway, this is interesting.
Yeah.
I've never heard this.
And keep in mind, I'm sitting there focused on the next step, right?
Yeah.
That's where I want to go.
So those of you listening, I've gotten to work with Jacob for a while now, and I've heard bits and pieces of his story. But as you guys are hearing this for the first time, I'm hearing a lot of this for the first time as well. So this is just as cool for me. So I'm super intrigued.
So I'm blinders on, trying to do everything I can to be as great at this position as I can possibly be. Mm-hmm. And so I'm trying to learn from this guy. They have these trainings that we go to. You could call them trainings, meetings where we pull other ideas from other stores in the group, and all this really good stuff. And the GM himself also had a very strong background in used cars.
Okay.
Knew it so well that I think it frustrated him to talk to me about them because my lack of knowledge for used cars and lack of ability to be able to catch on quickly to something that changes constantly.
Hey, I've felt that before.
And you know me well enough now that I can when we put a rule in place, it's pretty black and white for me to follow.
Yeah.
But you also know that that's the play and it's not the audible, right? There's sometimes we got to call audibles and do things a little bit differently. And so I think so I had this strong connection with the general manager, and like I said, he had written that letter to my wife. He had promoted me several times. He was the reason that I got the job in the beginning. I remember when I the first week that I was there, he came down to the import store that I was at, and was just talking with the guys, and my brother took me up to meet him. And as he comes, he's this just super jolly guy, but kind of loud, some of the traits that you have in a good way. But he comes up to shake my hand and introduces himself, and I turn all red, and he's like, "Do you need a hug?" I'll never forget that. This is my first interaction with him. Do you need a hug?
That's funny.
Yeah, and so him and this new guy have a strong connection right off the top.
Okay. And did they know each other prior to?
At one point prior, the GM had told us that we would never do business with this guy.
Okay.
Specifically.
And with the new guy that came in?
Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, the top salesman at that store also reminded me that was the case. He said, I remember these words specifically. We would never do business with this guy.
Now we're going back on that.
Now we're working with him.
Yeah.
Right? It's crazy how that happens.
Okay.
But whatever. I don't really care if we ever said that we didn't do business with him. Yeah. I don't care about that. Yeah. I don't care about this guy's any of the shit that he's telling me about being a good person. I don't care if you're a good person or not. Can we work together? Can we get the job done?
Yeah, I mean, that's all that matters.
That's the only thing that matters. It doesn't matter if we're friends, right? None of that is relevant. And in my opinion, if you're when it comes to that job and the job at hand, the task at hand, which is to sell cars and make money, it's the only job that we have. It doesn't matter if we're friends. It doesn't matter. None of that stuff's relevant to me.
Right.
Doesn't help us do the job. So why are we talking about it, right? And so I'm throwing all that out the window, trying to just ignore it. And man, it just starts to pour down, right? So that I'm like 2 days in, and I'm still trying to jive with this guy, still trying to do what I can to entertain it. The other sales manager's on vacation this week, so it's just me working every single deal. He's sitting next to me the entire time, this new guy that we brought in.
Now, is he sitting next to you for training purposes?
Yeah, to just kind of see the dynamic of things, how things go. And he's also kind of helping me through some things. So I see that he knows his shit.
Oh, okay. Cool.
This guy knows the auto industry. He knows very well versed in used cars. He's not a Gumby by any means. He's sharp.
Yeah.
Very good salesman, can speak well. But just in my ear the whole time about how, much I need to trust him and these things, this, that, and the other. And I'm just like, okay, like, that's cool, man. Like, let's just get the job done.
Yeah.
And it just starts to rain down. Everybody starts coming to me, like the people that don't even work with me. Hey, is it true that so-and-so's working here? Is it true? And I'm like, yeah, why do y'all keep, like, why do people keep asking me that? They're like, do you...
So this person's got a name.
Yeah.
For themselves.
Yeah, and they're like, why? I'm like, why do you people keep asking me about this guy? And so then I start to hear about his reputation and start to realize why he's telling me all these things, because he doesn't... And I think at the time, maybe he is a good guy. I don't know. I never really got to find out. But I think at the time, he was doing everything he could to prevent me having that perception of him.
What perception? I'm sorry.
That everyone else had, that he was not this outstanding citizen.
Ah, okay. Understood.
Yeah. And again, I really didn't give a shit. I really don't care. I would rather just come to work. Like, this isn't high school.
Well, also, you're not the one that hired him, and you didn't make the decision. Like,
doesn't matter to me.
We're here to execute a fucking job.
Doesn't matter.
Let's get the job done. We don't have to fucking like each other.
No.
No,
we don't. Yeah. But this guy was extremely sensitive to the fact of anybody maybe not liking him. I think it bothered him. I think he knew that everybody in the dealership was talking. To the point so much that once he did start to get rolling and started selling cars, he's slapping deals back to the finance office that are just not really well structured, put together, don't even really know where the customer's closed, to the point he actually tries to fight one of the finance guys in front of customers.
At work?
At work. At work.
Fight
at work, yeah. And...
I don't even know what to say right now.
And I know that we are not above fighting. However, if I did that in front of a customer, I wouldn't have a fucking job.
Like physically fist fight.
Oh yeah, like he's back there trying to fight him in the finance office, and I think it was over something petty. A simple.
I assume that's the end of his career. At this point.
No, it was actually all blamed on another one of the finance guys.
What?
Yeah.
This sounds fun.
Yeah,
it's like a fucking.
You didn't do any.
TV
So
show.
Yeah, so I'm quickly realizing, like, okay, there's something wrong with this dude. I don't know what it is.
Dude, this is great. I love this.
And so I'm trying to do my job.
Yeah.
Well, him, this new guy, and the GM are just buddies at this point. And he's like, hey, you need to listen to a new guy. You need to listen to a new guy. You need to listen to a new guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, great. Sure, I will. And everything that I'm doing is wrong. Everything's going too slow, this, that, and the other.
Who told you this?
The new guy.
The new guy told you everything you're doing is wrong. Okay.
And he was actually right about a lot of it and helped me speed up my process for used cars. He helped me in a lot of ways identify some things that were inefficient, fix them, and get them back up and running better.
So he didn't try to fight you?
No, he didn't try to. There was a couple times he got frustrated with me for... I don't remember what it was for. One time he got snippy with me, and I was like, why are you talking to me like that? And he's like, dude, it's not you. It's just, I'm just stressed. This guy would come in at 8 and wouldn't leave until the last customer left. He's a hard worker, though. He worked his ass off.
For sure.
But didn't take any days off, nothing like that. And it became toxic to the point that I didn't even want to be next to the guy. Like 2 weeks in, nobody did. Everybody's like, it's like walking on glass because you don't want him to, because after what happened with him trying to fight the finance manager and then somebody else getting in trouble over it, everybody else is like, well, shit, I don't want that to happen to me. The other finance manager almost gets basically fired over this.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, fuck, I don't want that to happen to me, so I'm just going to do everything I can to stay out of this guy's way.
A wild fucking story.
It's nuts, right? It's like, would you ever put up with somebody coming in and stirring that much, bringing that much?
Well, dude, I'm just like bringing myself to fight somebody at work. Like, I mean, of course, time and place, but I can't even think of a time I've like raised my voice at someone at work. I've gotten pretty frustrated with Tide at work.
I don't think I've ever heard you. Yeah, no.
But I'm not gonna. I haven't even yelled at work. But
kind of like something that adults don't do, right?
Yeah, it's just why do we need to get to that? I don't know. Whatever.
So, as I start to have him help me with this used car situation, I realize he's talking to the GM a lot, and now I'm starting to get a lot. Every conversation me and the GM are having is not good.
So you're starting to notice a shift.
A major shift. Negative shift.
Yep.
From a guy that arguably you could ask any salesperson on the floor, does more for all of them as far as going out of my way to help them sell cars.
And this is the guy that wrote that letter to your wife saying all the kind things. Mm-hmm. Now you and him are starting to have some friction.
It is not working. I'm coming home falling apart to my wife, telling her like I just don't know, like I don't know where this came from. All this and it all stemmed off of what, like, literally a couple months after that dinner, we bring this guy in and this all starts to happen. And this guy's, we're going to sell 100 more cars than we've ever sold his first month there. We didn't, because it wasn't realistic. It wasn't a realistic statement by any means.
I like the enthusiasm.
I love the enthusiasm.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. But then being legitimately angry about it and so irritable that nobody wants to be around you just creates an extremely unhealthy work environment.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget. So that hailstorm hit, in the beginning of 25, and it was March, first week of March. No, third week of March.
It was a very stressful week for me.
And I show back up to work the next day. We're getting shit hashed out. Well, that Sunday comes at the end of that week. And it's actually my father-in-law's birthday, so we go to his birthday dinner out in Tomball.
Okay.
Which is, an hour and a half from College Station. And I get a text from the GM, and it says, hey, we're going to go move some cars undercover because there's a chance another wave of this storm is coming through. Mm-hmm. And, if y'all can come help, that would be great. And I let him know, hey, like, I'm in Tomball, I won't be able to make it. I call one of the other guys that goes up there to help, and he said, yeah, we finished in like 30 minutes. So even if I had left to go there, I wouldn't have had time to make it.
It would have been done by the time you arrived.
They would have been gone.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you.
And I would have gladly, like, you know what kind of person I am. I would have gladly gone to help move cars on a Sunday.
Yeah.
I would have gladly, like, okay, sure, it's effortless, right? There's like 10, 15 of us doing it. Sure, let's do it. So I can't show up to this. So that next day, that Monday, every Monday we'd have a morning meeting as managers.
Plus, so this was on a fucking Sunday.
Which we never work.
Okay. I'm with you.
We're closed.
Yeah.
Never any work done on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So I come in that Monday. Every Monday I would close. And so that would mean I had to
come in a little later.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'd have to be at work by 10, but our meeting was at 10. And I'd leave whenever the last deal was ready to go into finance. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I definitely think was a part of the message is, hey, this guy wants to take his days off. He wants to leave early on his early days, things like that. But this new guy wouldn't take any days off, and he was like, well, I have something to prove because, they're going to give me a shot at being GM, so, like, I'm not going to take any time off. I'm like, okay, well, if they tell me that too and that's what it takes to do it, I'll do it. But I see clear as day that, everybody else, all the other managers are taking their days off, still leaving early on their early days when they can, things like that. And so there's just all this. So I show back up to work that Monday, and the GMs, we have our morning meeting, just managers, and he says, hey, Jacob, you stay back. Everybody else go, and new guy, you stay back as well. I want to talk to you. I say, okay. I'm like, all right, here, what do we got now? Like I said, every conversation is negative at this point.
So you just know. You're like, all right, what the fuck we got this time?
Yeah, like
let's bring it
fuck,
on.
man.
Let's go.
Like, can't get it right apparently because I'm not, killing myself to do this job. I'm not going to kill myself to do this job. Mm-hmm. You don't kill yourself to do this job, and you're the GM, right? I don't care how much you sacrifice. Nobody's doing what this guy's doing.
This is the GM who you've had a great relationship
Fantastic relationship with. Look up to this guy a ton.
Right.
Very well versed in used cars, finance, like anything you can need. Awesome at the job he does.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Absolutely hands down the guy for the job. Great, good friends with my brother at one point. They went on like hunting trips, things like that.
Nice. Okay.
So at one point I was like, okay, these people are like family to me. It became very clear that we are not friends. It doesn't matter if we like each other or not. Mm-hmm. And so again, why the fuck does it matter if you're sitting there praying with your wife? Why are you telling me all these intimate things that you do with your wife, new guy? And like none of that shit matters. It's clear. Like this is business. So he says, hey, so where were you at yesterday?
On
Sunday. And I said, well,
what the fuck does it matter?
Just like I said, I was, my father-in-law was having a dinner, and so for his birthday, and so we went there in Tomball.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So what time did you come in this morning? I said, well,
why are you getting grilled like this? Like, I don't.
Oh, here it comes. Yeah. I said, well, I got here like, 10 minutes before the meeting because I close every Monday. Gotcha. So you don't think you could have came in early today to help us move the cars back on the lot where, we had moved them from to,
were you
to get
asked
covered?
to do that?
And so he gets frustrated. See, it's not that you don't do what you're supposed to. It's things that I don't ask you to do that you don't do. I'm just like, dude, do you want me to read? Like, do you think if you wouldn't have texted me and said, hey, dude, I know you couldn't make it tonight. Can you come in the morning to help? You think I would have said no?
Yeah.
I absolutely would have said yes. I'm like, dude. And so he has this new dude sitting in there with me like, yeah, man, like you just got to do more. Like you're just not doing enough.
So you got this motherfucker chiming in.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, fuck this, man. At this point, I'm just ready to fucking walk.
I'm getting this is funny.
I'm like, fuck this. I don't even care anymore.
It's like this guy's in the back being a hype man.
Oh, yeah. He's like,
everything that this guy's saying.
Everything. Fucking brutal to listen. You should have heard this dude at the sales desk.
I want a movie of this.
It was so hard to listen to this guy. And if he would have just quit trying to get everybody else to like him, I think he would have been fantastic. And so, I mean, dude, I've embarrassed myself in a ton of ways growing up. I mean, fuck, when I first started in the auto industry, I got in trouble for hitting on chicks in the fucking service department. Like, I've stepped on myself in ways that you can't even make this shit up.
You told me you used to take the demo cars to lunch.
I would take the fucking demo cars to lunch. Yes. Saw the managers doing it.
That one made me laugh. That one was really funny.
And so, yeah. But dude, I wanted to do a good job. I wanted to be with this team that I thought.
Was that the final conversation?
Almost. So the week goes by. It's actually that Friday.
How did that one end?
Just like that.
Oh. Just a fact-finding mission. Let's play 20 questions
you suck.
for a second.
Yeah, just you suck, and this is why you suck. Tell him why he sucks.
Okay.
like, all right, fuck me, right? Apparently, I'm not a team player because God. And so at this point, I'm like, all right, I'm starting to realize this is not going in my favor.
Okay. The trend isn't changing.
Trend isn't changing. Yeah. It's getting bad. It's uncomfortable. I had one point went to the GM and told him, hey, man, like this, I can see this isn't going well, and we had a brief talk there, and he said, you need to go talk to new guy and get advice from him.
What the fuck?
And so I go and talk to him. He's like, yeah, dog, your job's on the line. Like, and so I'm like fucking tearing up. Like, I'm about to cry at this point because like I've given everything I can to this job.
Right.
And he's like,
You've been there for how many years at this point?
It would have been a decade.
A decade, okay.
10 years, yeah.
Golly,
2016 until, so March of this year would have actually been a decade. Last year would have been my 10th year.
Okay.
And so at this point, I'm like, I got to figure something out because this isn't going to work. So literally that Friday, I'm driving into work, and my drive to work's about 30 minutes.
Yep.
And I'm sitting there praying to God going, okay, this is not healthy. just please show me where I'm supposed to be. Mm-hmm. Please give me direction. I don't care how uncomfortable it is. Just get me out of this. Like, whatever it takes. Like, just show me where I'm supposed to be. I show up to work. 10 minutes after I get there, the GM texts me, said, hey, come see me. And this is why I'm so thankful he did this for me. He texts me, and I walk in, and he says, hey, there's no easy way to do this, but we are going to go a different direction. What? He's firing me.
In what day of the week? Just a random, like...
It was a Monday or a Friday. I think it was the following Monday. I can't remember.
What the fuck?
Yeah, we're going to go a different direction. And
hold on. Let me ask a question. Just more of like a business standpoint. Enough personal whatever shit. Are you dropping the ball on execution of your day-to-day job tasks as far as like numbers on the used car?
I actually found it quite entertaining that the number of used cars that they're selling now isn't quite different than what it was when I was there.
Okay. So you were not dropping the ball on
that store's
sales.
Basically on autopilot.
What do you mean?
People are going to continue to go buy cars from that store no matter who you have behind the desk. And trust me, I've seen many people behind that desk that arguably didn't try as hard as I did to do the job at hand, the task at hand. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't a matter of effort. Mm-hmm. There were things that he wanted me to understand that I didn't yet, and every time, instead of teaching me and slowing down, it just turned to this frustration of like, why don't you already understand this? If you didn't already know, you should have asked somebody. Like, okay, it was just lack of. I just didn't have it yet, is what it was. Mm-hmm. So we were still selling plenty of used cars. Okay. And things were, I didn't step in and identify that there were some issues that new guy did. Mm-hmm. And I can give that credibility to him 100%.
Yeah, this guy you're talking about, you said he had more experience. He's been in the industry a long time. You said he knew the industry well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't really a matter of dropping the ball. I wasn't going to kill myself to do the job.
Right. And
not have any time with my family. And I didn't have all the tools that they wanted me to have yesterday, right now. Mm-hmm. And it became very obvious that they weren't going to give me the time to learn them. Mm-hmm. So, and said, "Hey, we're going to go a different direction." And I'm starting to tear up at this point. I feel like I'm going to fall apart, but I just take a deep breath and go, "Okay, this is it." Hold my shit together. I go down there and I start putting my shit in that box, and it was the best feeling that I had in the past 10 years. Oh my God, it started, like the pressure just started to come off my shoulders. It felt so fucking good to know I was never going to have to sit here and listen to dude explain how good of a person he is again. I'll never have to listen to that again, ever in my life. And I won't do it.
That's fucking funny.
I won't do it.
That was funny.
I wish I would. Actually, I don't. If I would have politicked better and kissed ass more, I'd still be at that store, and I'm happy I didn't. I'm happy that things went the way that they went, because 2 weeks later, I found the best company I'd ever worked for the rest of my life. And like I said, dude, putting my shit in that box, going around shaking everybody's hand, telling them it was nice work. It just started like this feeling of pure bliss.
Yeah. That's interesting.
It felt incredible, and I didn't realize it, but that was God taking me out of that, taking me away from those negative. Because I'm telling you, that guy, and I'm sure he'll see this, and he knows who he is. I'm sure he's got a path that'll lead him to righteousness, if you will, whatever it is that he claims to have now. But it's not a guy that I want to surround myself with. It's not somebody that I feel like is going to bring me up, or it wasn't then. I know for sure.
Yeah.
It's not a guy that I would say I would want other people to look at me and go, "Oh, you do business with that guy?" Like, no, I don't want to be a part of that. So happy I got off of that team that I didn't do a good enough job for. And so yeah, 2 weeks. I took 2 weeks off. The first 3 days were a little rough for me.
When did you call Tide and let him know? Day one? I think he just knew. I
think he called me. Yeah, the word got around. So that was one of the funny parts, is that conversation when he held me back after I didn't show up to move the cars. He said, "Let me ask you a question. If I let you go right now, would everybody look at me like I'm crazy, or would they look at me like, oh yeah, that makes sense?" And literally when I go down and start telling people that I'm let go, they're like, "Are you serious? Are you kidding?" They're blown away. They're like, "Holy, you're joking, right?"
That's actually really funny.
you're kidding, right? And so it felt good to look back and go, you were wrong. They were blown away.
Oh, that's funny.
They were surprised.
So this is at the point where I'm down on the coast. I'm doing something. I forget what I was doing. And I get a call from Tide. And he goes, hey, man. And I'm like, what's up, Tide? Yeah. I got a guy. He just got let go at the Ford dealership. I think he'd be real good at this. And at this point, Tide's been making money.
Yeah.
Tide had sold a bunch of roofs. He told you he was making money. Yeah. Tide was making more than he's ever made. Uh-huh. And you knew it. You knew it too. And he calls and he's like, man, would it be okay if I schedule him to come in? And at this point, I was like in full growth scaling mode. Like, dude, let's go. Let's bring as many people in as we can that are the right people. I told him, I said, yeah, fucking bring the guy in. Let's go. Let's talk to him. And so did we meet in person?
No. So it was, I think it was that second week that I had taken off, and I had my in-laws' wedding that weekend. They were getting married.
Okay.
And I came in that Monday before that, I think it was.
Okay.
And I knew I was going to be out of town that weekend. And so you had asked me to come in, and I met you and Gracie. I remember just right off the top when I saw y'all, I was like, okay, these people look fucking put together. Like, I can tell they're disciplined, for one.
Well, thank you.
I thought y'all were older because of how mature you were.
It had nothing to do with my...
Not that you look old. It's not because you look old. What'd that lady say? There's no way he's...
Dude, I get fucking roasted on Instagram. They go, 1998, no way. More like 88 or something. And the lady goes, so he's 27? At least 45. And I'm like, okay, what the fuck, man? I don't look that old.
No, the way that y'all spoke, the way you carried yourselves, how humble you were, even though I could tell that y'all were successful. I could tell that you were in a financial spot that was far beyond where I was. And right away, that captured my attention. And then that brief discussion that we had about the potential that I would have, and the amount of money that I could make, which I was sitting there, and on my ride home, I'm sitting there going like, man, could that really be true? Could I really do that? Could I really make more money?
Dude, Preston said the same thing in the chair you're sitting in. He's like, yeah, I thought it was just bullshit. And I was like, why do people think that? I don't know.
So thankfully, I have one of my good friends, Caton Hall, that I also can say that he's a very good guy. I look up to that guy quite a bit as well.
I've enjoyed getting to know him over the last year or so as well. He's a very, very nice guy.
I called and talked to him, and of course, he knew of you.
Okay.
And had nothing but good things to say.
Nice.
And told me, I said, like, dude, is the money really like this? Like in roofing?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah. He said he had been trying to get me to leave the car business for like 2 years.
So he'd been working on you.
Well, just tell me, like, dude, you need to get out of there.
He sold cars too.
Yeah. He was like, you need to get out of there. That's not healthy. It's not good for you.
Okay.
And
so he knew it.
And I didn't listen to him. I wish I wouldn't have been so, with my blinders on. But I thought that was the spot for me. And everything just, it's crazy how I look back when I look back and see how the way that happened.
But God's timing made it work out. It really did. Your timing coming in was very good. But anyway, we sat down and we met. And, I mean, dude, I knew that you had zero roofing experience, but had a lot of sales experience. And I'll tell you right now, if I have an ideal hire, and I think now that you're in an executive position in the business, you could probably agree. Man, if I've got the choice, I don't want to hire anyone with roofing experience. No. And I honestly don't even want anyone with sales experience.
No, I don't.
I trust our training. I trust our ability to teach you a specific way that'll work. Time and time again, hiring people who have roofing experience, you get the bad habits, you get certain things that come in. You get lack of coachability. And I feel like coachability is extremely important in your employees. And the saying is true. It's tough to teach an old dog new tricks. But one thing I want to commend you on is you came in, and if you had, let's say you had a decade of sales experience under your belt. I wasn't far behind you, but I'm not at a full decade. You're a little older than I am. Far old. You're really old. But, but you came in humble and you said, hey, I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars selling shit. I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars leading. But I'm going to come in and I'm going to say, I don't know this. And I'm just going to basically start at square one. And I'm going to listen to everything you guys have to teach me. And I'm going to tell you right now, no matter where you work, no matter where you went after you left, what dealership you were at, you were going to make money. And I think you knew that.
I did.
I think you knew that. And you're making so much and your success is so exponential because of your coachability and your ability to come in and say, hey, I know a lot of shit about selling, but I'm going to come in and pretend I know nothing, and I'm going to listen to everything these guys have to say. And that's what I respect so much, because I've hired hundreds of people all over the country that have sales experience.
And they can't do it.
Oh, but this is the way we used to do it. This is, newsflash, I don't give a fuck how you used to do it. This is how we do it. And if you don't like it, get out. Yeah. How is it working with this person and this person and this person in this city, in this state of this age? But it doesn't.
And it's almost always the same thing, no matter what. If they either have that sales experience or they come from roofing at all, it's like they can't see straight.
No.
It's like, dude, just throw that out.
This is what we used to do.
And I did know.
Why aren't you there anymore?
I did know. I knew I was gonna figure it out no matter what. I'll never forget the day that happened and I got fired. I called my wife and said, "Hey, honey, I just lost my job." She said, "Great. I'm on the way to Target. I'll see you at home." I said, "For what?" She said, "I'm going to go shopping." It's like, for what? I just lost my job.
She didn't give a shit.
And she goes, "I know you'll figure it out. I know you'll make it happen." And that,
what a wife.
And that hit me hard. It made me remember, like, okay, I have some fucking gumption. Like, I can do that. I will be successful.
Yeah.
And man, I came in, and I remember the weekend before I started was that wedding, and people were asking me, like, "You're going to go do door-to-door sales?" And I was like, yeah, I am. I've never done this before, for one, and I don't want to go back to what I was doing. And if this doesn't work, and that's what I have to go back to make the kind of money that I want to make, I can.
Yeah, it's always there. You could go back. What's the real risk?
There was no risk.
Yeah.
And for those of you that think like, oh man, I don't want to jump in because I got bills to pay, this, that, and the other. I had a $7,000 monthly nut that I had to pay,
and a daughter,
and a wife, and
car notes.
I had bills, and I still made this leap of faith and said, you know what? I don't give a shit. I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to be successful in this new endeavor, and I did. Mm-hmm. I just tried to throw everything out the window as far as what I knew about the auto industry. I knew I could talk to people. So if I could just follow your training, which, I mean, I think it was, I don't know, but a couple weeks before I was up and running. But
yeah, we were at the point in the company, I actually personally trained you.
Yeah.
And I know Tide was with you in the field, and Tide did a great job working with you. But when it came to the office stuff, I was the one, Gracie was the one, we were working with you.
Yeah, my first appointments that I shadowed was with Grace. Arguably the best salesperson ever.
Oh, she's far better than I am.
Far better than I am as well.
Far better.
But
she'll listen to this and be like, oh my gosh.
I'll never forget whenever I got that first check, and I was like, because y'all called me and you're like, you realize how much money you just made this week?
What was it?
It was like almost $30,000.
Was it really?
In a week. And I was like, are you joking?
And this was early on, was it not?
It's like the second, third month. I just couldn't believe it, man. I had never made that much money in a week. I mean, in the car business, most I would ever make is, maybe $5,000 a week, something like that, maybe a little more.
Still very good money.
Yeah.
That's still very good money, yeah.
It was, but...
We're making almost 30 G's in a week.
And as soon as I got a taste of that, for literally going out to help people with something that they need, right?
Yeah, okay, that's a big thing. You're selling a need, not a want. Now, sometimes a car's a need, right?
Yes.
Someone pulls up in a beater, they're in a situation. I get that. But the majority of the time, a roof is, I'd say every time, a roof's going to be a need. A roof's a need.
Yeah.
It's not a want.
And the taste is just so much different, right? Yes, I am making a handsome living, but it's for helping somebody with something that they may not even have known that they needed.
A lot of times they don't.
A lot of times they don't, and something that's going to make one of their, if not their biggest appreciating asset, last much, much longer and save so many headaches down the road. And the joy that you see in them after you're done is just, it's a different feeling than that new car. Because that new car, you can tell, is about to wear off. As soon as they drive off, they're going to be like, oh, man.
Oh, fuck. I spent all this.
I'm going to have to make that payment. That's going to hurt.
The roofing industry, I feel like, is it's similar to the car industry in a lot of ways. And I've learned that from you, Tide, Victor, Kevin now coming in. All you guys talking to me about the car industry, it's so interesting to me. I just love listening to how a business operates. I think it's so fun. But something that I think we share is people do have a negative view of the car industry widely. It's a negative tone.
They do, yeah.
But I feel like it's really not a bad industry. People come in and they make good money. You got sales reps that make $400,000 a year. And I think that's so cool. When you got managers that are making more, I think that's amazing. So it's not only it's creating freedom. Yeah, you work a lot of hours, and I get it. It's creating freedom for the people that work there. Roofing's similar. But I also feel as when it comes to roofing and we're in it, you never knew probably. Yeah, you can make a shit ton of money. But, dude, all the horror stories, especially roofing in Texas, where it's unlicensed.
They'll leave after they tear up.
Not only just the severe climate we have, and the amount of people who have mold, the amount of people who have so many leaks that's getting into the insulation, things that they don't even know about. And then you come into the contractor side of things, contractors biting off more than they can chew, making horrific business decisions, not having reliable crews. I mean, we've seen roofs where contractors tear off the wrong roof. Thank you, Jacob. We've seen situations where, a contractor came out, tore the roof off, left tarps on it, and they're never to be found again. And I feel like the car industry is the same way. It's like there's legitimate people in the business and there's illegitimate people in the business. And the illegitimate people are the ones that give it a bad rap.
Yeah, 100%.
They're the ones that give it a bad rap.
But, the coolest part, I would say the one that brings me the most joy, as selfish as this may sound, is that new guy is still working there, and he asked the top sales rep, man, why does he keep taking my guy? So these people from the store keep coming to me saying, hey, I want to come work for you, things like that.
At Trophy?
Yeah,
I haven't asked one person to come work here.
So Kevin Garcia, Victor Boyat, neither one of them that I come to and say,
everyone asked
hey,
me for an interview.
Correct. They're coming to me. He tells the top sales guy over at that store, hey, why does he keep taking my guys?
I didn't take anybody.
We're not taking any of them. They're coming to us asking how they can have this thing that's so much better than what they have now. And it's not just the money, it's the culture, right? To work for a company that cares about you. They want you to have time with your family. They want you to have true financial freedom. They want you to be a better father, a better husband, closer to God, and all these things. Not only did a lot of those people that weren't my true teammates say that this wasn't going to work for me, that I was not going to be successful doing this. But not only have I been far more successful than any of us thought in it, but on top of that, it's so fucking good that all those guys that are underneath him want to come do it with me. That's an awesome feeling.
Just to be 100% clear, the amount of money you're making now is more. Your free time's more. You are an extraordinarily successful individual to where people come into the company and look at you and they're like, oh shit, he's been here how long? Wow, this is cool.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. And when it comes to business, you say how people want to come work here. But truly, I told Victor when he first came in for an interview, I'm not sure who scheduled that, but he came in for an interview. I think we agreed it wasn't the right time for his finances or something like that. And he had to really think about that. And then with Kevin as well, he came in for an interview. I think maybe you or Victor
6 months ago.
it. Yeah. And we agreed, hey man, this isn't the right time for you. And that was the end of it. And I never spoke with any of them. Didn't have their numbers saved, never stole anybody. But how do you create a culture like that? How do you create an environment people want to work in? And it's like, how do you create an environment that your employees are willing to sacrifice for? And it's really, really simple. You have to understand the key concept, the foundation here is that there's not business problems. It's your personal problems overflowing into work. And as a business, as a manager, as a VP, as a GM, pour into your people's personal life so much more, and their professional life will follow. Make sure your people are in the gym, they're eating healthy. Call them out on shit they're doing in their life that's not right. Help people grow personally, and your professional life will follow. Now, of course, you want to have that line of, hey, your personal life doesn't mix with work. No business and personal life. It's not going to mix. I agree with that. Just like business and emotions don't mix. Keep them the fuck out of the company. I get it.
Yeah.
But the thing is there's nothing wrong with me sitting down with you and saying, hey, man, I just want to come to you and say, I think you, and with your young daughter, I know you guys are sending her to a Christian school. I think something key that y'all should be doing is taking her to church. Like this, like, and not that we've had that conversation, but I'm just saying, like, dude, that right there, that impact in life, I want you guys to come to church with me. Yeah. And now we have offices in different states. I mean, brick and mortar offices way beyond driving distance. And so we can't always have that reach. But I think we have people like you. We have got these people that are extending that reach into those locations as well. And I feel like it's so much more important to focus on, as a leader, you need to be setting an example for what your personal life should look like to your people at all times. And I think our leaders and our management staff in the company does an incredible job, from Cassie and Austin, who are actively working extremely hard on their personal life, and their people see that. They see that. And then you've got Preston Todd, who's at home working out with his kid.
Kevin Garcia, who's lost, 100 plus pounds.
Yeah, you don't even talk about our leadership staff. Talk about our staff in general.
Yeah.
The majority of our people coming in and just being better individuals. If you're a better person in your personal life, you're an idiot to not think your professional life is going to follow. And I think that there is no reason to focus on professional business problems. They don't exist as long as your personal life is in order. Your relationship with God, your relationship with your spouse, your health and your fitness, your relationship with yourself, your mental self-talk, all of those things are so important. And that's what we focus on. That's literally what we focus on. And you know what? You talk about how this particular situation, you didn't want to go work on a Sunday. Dude, I can recall numerous times you've worked on a Sunday.
I will work. That's the thing. Is it because it's so much different, right? Like, I am willing to sacrifice so much for this company because of the amount of effort that I feel like y'all have put into not just me as an employee, but like, it's like the simple conversations. I mean, I would have never gotten back into church if it wasn't something that you just came and simply said, hey, man,
that's so cool to see you guys there.
Would you like to come to church with me?
Yeah.
Like, fuck yeah, let's go work on a Sunday. Let's go work at 10 o'clock at night. Let's go to the office and clean shit up while everybody else is on break. Or, man, anything.
Dude, we got numerous people. Like, I feel my phone buzzing. We have numerous people in appointments today.
On a Sunday.
Today's Sunday. Right? And so,
because they want to be.
They want to be.
Kevin Garcia told me, he said, man, this was a couple of weeks ago. There was an appointment set on a Monday, and the sales reps are off Sundays and Mondays. He said, man, you won't believe what just happened. And I said, what? And he said, man, there was an appointment set for today on Monday. And I had some things going. Kevin has 2 young boys.
Yeah, he's got a lot on his plate.
He's got a lot on his plate. And he said, I told Preston that, hey, I'm going to go ahead and go run that appointment. And Reed himself called me and said, hey, I want you to know that if you have other things to do, I do not want you to go to that appointment. We will reschedule that. We'll get that homeowner taken care of either way. Go enjoy your time and do the things that you need to do, because I don't want to impede on those things by desperation of a need to sell another roof. Like, it's just not necessary.
But as a business owner, it's not necessarily like, oh my gosh, Reed cares about Kevin so much. It's like, okay, I do. But also, I have to think critically about the business and make a decision here. And normally, I wouldn't call Kevin personally. I normally wouldn't. But I called him personally because if he doesn't have his personal shit handled, whether that's his kids, whether that's something else going on with his wife, whatever it may be, and he goes into that appointment because he feels forced to be there, do you think he's going to go represent our company the best?
No, he's going to have less patience. He's going to care less if whether that deal goes through or not.
Yep.
I mean, he's not going to do what's best for the homeowner. All those things are just going to compound, and it's going to be a horrible outcome.
Would it have been a major issue? Maybe not. But anything that would have happened negative would have been a result of his personal life not getting dealt with. So I'd much rather cancel that appointment or reschedule it at risk of it canceling, because obviously if you reschedule shit, that's got a higher risk of canceling.
Yeah.
Simple. I'd rather that than him go misrepresent himself or the company. I mean, dude, I don't know. I love our job. I don't care. 7 days a week.
It doesn't feel like work.
Midnight. Like, dude, doesn't feel like work. And I know our people are the same way. I mean, the other night, we're buying a new office for our Houston team currently. Cassie and Gracie are on the phone at fucking 11 o'clock at night. You and I are in the other room on the phone at 10:30 while they're on the phone. And it's like, it doesn't feel like work. Like, it just feels like we're getting shit done. And we're moving in the right direction. I don't know. I think we do a good job at making work not feel like work.
Yeah,
I think we do a good job of that.
We do.
But dude, to see where you came in from just knocking on doors, selling these roofs, coming in and learning from the storm side of the business and coming in and learning retail. That was a big struggle for you, and that was a big jump. And to see you, that's what I think was toughest, is to see you who sold for 10 years come in and struggle.
I'm used to winning.
You're used to winning. Seeing you go, what was it, 3 weeks? 3 weeks?
3 weeks, no deals.
I will say, you had no canvassers. You were the only one doing it. Like you.
So?
It was really cool to see you go through that struggle, because now you are so much of a better leader as a result of that struggle. So for anyone listening to this, it wasn't just you came in and you killed it out the gate. Dude, you came in and made a shit ton of money out the gate, for sure. You did. You came in with a shit ton of experience. You were selling insurance restoration, storm roofs, and College Station. That's easy, okay? Well, then when we made the shift to retail, money stopped flowing for 3 weeks.
Stopped
and it was
coming
like,
in.
oh shit. And there were some tough conversations. There were some tough times. There were some tough meetings. There was a stint of just months of just toughness. And we worked through it, and we got through it because we were trying to build something. We were trying to establish something. So not only did you struggle on the retail sale yourself, which you were the only one in the company doing it other than what Gracie and I had done, we struggled to build Cassie's market in Houston. We struggled to get her capable of selling it. And that was your first taste of like actually running some shit, a business, running that shit. And I think you did an incredible job. And you realized, okay, this is hard.
Yeah, it was much easier said than done. And I remember thinking, okay, if I can just get this one up and running, then I can focus on the next one. And then the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. And now to see it actually starting to come together is so cool. You know, all the other guys that work for the other roofing companies are like, how are y'all? What are you doing?
That'll never stop. It's just,
how are you doing it?
That doing it on a national level and doing it retail is what just is going to wow people.
It blows them away. They're like, what do you mean
with
no, like, how are you able to help people if the insurance isn't?
Yeah.
That just blows them away. And
there's been a shit ton of roofs sold. Let's just take this week. Out of every roof sold this week, how many were insurance restoration?
None.
Zero. We built more. We built a shit ton of roofs last week. We have more roofs on the schedule than we've ever had next week. And 0 of them are insurance restoration. They're strictly just people who had old roofs that were leaking or had mold, whatever the case is, and needed roofs.
That's where it's all going to be 10 years from now.
Shit, I hope sooner than that. I'm one of the only roofers that probably prays that we
don't
get a hailstorm.
Please.
And I think people may think I'm crazy, but it's 100% true. I don't want a hailstorm because, first of all, I don't want to run a business that's dependent on Mother Nature. Now, I know some people are going to hate on that and be like, what the fuck's wrong with you? So many roofing companies are doing more than you, and they're doing that. You're 100% right. There's some very well-established, great companies, dozens of them, that are doing more than we're doing in annual revenue, running great teams, and they're doing insurance restoration roofs. I just don't particularly enjoy it. And as a business owner and as a salesperson, I find that the retail sale, as long as you have a structured process and you're doing it right, it's far easier, you're paid quicker, and there's lower risk as a business.
Less will spent from the customer, right? Instead of sitting there getting, oh, yeah, we're going to get the insurance paid for it, knowing damn well it's probably not going to get done because it's a 20-year-old roof, whatever the case is. Man, let's not sit here and spin our wheels. Let's get this thing done.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it's just from a business perspective, we can make more on the retail side and we can keep more on the retail side. We can mitigate risk.
So much more steady as well.
It's much more steady. And it teaches you to not have a slow season in your business. And trust me, again, I'm saying this because I'm not trying to ruffle feathers in a way here. There are some extraordinarily successful storm restoration and storm chasing companies that do so much that maybe they don't have a slow season. But I'm just simply saying our business is going to continue to be built on retail. And I simply pray that we do not get hail in any of our states or cities. I really do. I don't fucking want it.
I remember in the beginning when I asked you, so what happens, like December and stuff when things like slow down, and you were like, what do you mean?
What the fuck are you talking about?
That doesn't happen.
We sell roofs.
I was like, thank God.
We sell roofs. Now, that's not how I grew up selling roofs. Like when I started in the industry, it was like, dude, I'm done by end of October, and I've made my
until May or whatever.
I've made my 250, 300 grand just selling, and I'm like, I'm done until February you start maybe working some old hail just to knock the rust off. That way, March, April rolls around, you're like, all right, we got this.
So you got 5-6 months ish.
Hunt, fish,
be gone.
That's where you get good at outdoors.
Yeah,
that's where you get good. Well, dude, your daughter is just hanging out in my pool. We'll wrap it up. I mean, guys, we are grateful at Trophy for Jacob, and to hear his story, this is my first time hearing a lot of it. So, you have any final thoughts?
No, that's pretty much it, man.
Well, cool. Thank you, guys.
Thank y'all.